Just going to go
Yeah.
rapid fire. A couple
No,
people
I
have been
appreciate it.
waiting a while. I'm going to go with Nicholas because he was
Can
on
I have some coffee?
YouTube. He was on YouTube and he, wanted to reach out, ask you a question, Andrew. So go ahead, Nicholas.
Yeah. So
People are
Andrew,
professional cope
thanks for
artists,
having me
dude.
on. By the
Get
way,
their ass
appreciate it.
kicked and then pretend
Andrew,
they're not getting their
an
ass kicked.
inconsistency I need to ask you about, and it is how inconsistently inconsistent the arguments are for the conspiracy. How do you deal with it?
And I'm not sure what you're actually asking me. You mean the idea that there's all the people have alternative events but never have any evidence for any of them? Is that what you're referencing?
Yeah, like the
Look, my
90
whole
different
this is
inconsistencies that they're
mostly this is the majority of the problem. The majority of the problem is there all are no provable alternative facts to any of it. I've looked and I've talked with these people. I don't know how many times. They actually don't posit anything with evidence ever. Nothing. Not Candace Owens, not Baron Coleman, nobody. All they do is make these absurd, bizarre claims like this gentleman says, it's impossible. It's impossible 30-06 could do this. It's like, but he hasn't ballistically demonstrated that. He just says that he shot some stuff and it didn't stop it, so therefore it's true. It's like, that's not an evidence-based claim, and it's definitely not scientifically rigorous. But on top of all of that, I've yet to hear out of all these people who pretend that they don't promote some sort of alternative theory. They do actually promote many alternative theories. They just won't stand behind them. That's it.
I can address that, but I want to go to these hands because that view is completely flawed. What Andrew said, and that's fine. Go ahead, John.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Andrew.
Sure.
How do you know that Mauser 98-30-06 that they found in the woods ever went on that roof?
You mean as far as the establishment goes, because the evidence points to the fact that it did.
The evidence points that it did.
Mm-hmm.
How does it point that it did when they never seen the?
Who never? What do you mean?
The gun was never seen. So what evidence shows that gun ever went on that rooftop?
The fact that he said in text messages that he took the gun up on the rooftop in Charlie Kirk. What do you mean? And then he was waiting for cops to leave so that he could go.
He took that gun on the roof. He didn't say that he took that gun on the roof.
So he was going in to retrieve a different that he didn't take on the roof.
He planted that. Is what I think. I think he went on that roof with a foldable AR, or like Corby Hall said, with a different barrel on it, maybe a 30 caliber, like you said. But I don't think he ever took that Mauser 98-30-06 on that roof. I think he put it in the woods so that when the bullet come out of Charlie, that it wouldn't match that gun in the woods. That would be his way to get out of it.
Well, I don't understand. How would that help him get out of it when the round that they found was a 30 cal? The fragmented round they pulled out of Charlie was a 30 cal.
All right. When Tyler shot Charlie, did he know it was going to fragment?
I don't know how that would be worse. That would be worse for your case, though.
On September 10th, the day he shot him, did he know that bullet was going to come back inconclusive?
No.
Let's say it didn't come back.
Well, hang on. The bullet. Wait, let's separate a couple things. The bullet did not come back inconclusive. They didn't say. They said the bullet's a 30 caliber. Okay. You're talking about what's the inconclusive part is them saying that specific bullet was fired from that gun. They couldn't match it specifically to the gun because it's fragmented.
I got you, and I understand that, and yeah, you're correct. But let's just say it did come back, and they could match it to the gun. But let's say when they tried to match it to the gun, it didn't match the gun. Tyler's probably sitting there thinking, I wish it had to come back to where they can match it. And that way they would see that it didn't come from.
Then why the hell would he want to retrieve it?
Why would he want to retrieve it? He just made him look. I think he just made it look like he was trying to get it. He put that in the woods for them to find. He wanted them to find it.
Okay, I'm just going to go with this theory. So then Tyler Robinson went up on the roof and Charlie Kirk, right?
With a different.
Okay, great.
And I believe that Tyler Robinson did kill Charlie Kirk. Now I do believe that.
Okay, great. So then I don't know what we're arguing then.
I just think that Tyler Robinson poured the magic on over everybody, and a 22-year-old, he's fooled everybody.
Is there any
And he
evidence
actually
that
took a different gun.
is there any evidence at all that Robinson owns any other rifles, especially a folding AR-15? Any?
No, but hey, there's a lot of people getting. I mean, you don't have to go out and purchase a. I mean, there's all kinds of ways. Look at all the people here getting. They find a way to get a gun if they want one.
Yeah, sure. So I can concede this point. I can concede the point that there are people who have obtained tons and tons and tons of rifles that nobody has any idea about that aren't registered. In fact, I'm even for that, right? I wish that you'd get rid of registration altogether in any state in which they want to register long arms. But that really doesn't negate the point of there being no evidence whatsoever to support the fact that he had any other firearm whatsoever at all.
There's no evidence to say that he took that on the roof.
Well,
No one
no,
ever got to see it.
there is evidence that he took that gun on the roof. Yes. Especially the fact that it was parked in a forest, and he sent text messages saying that he wanted to retrieve that. And he said specifically in the text messages that his grandpa wanted him to have a big bore hunting rifle, and that he said, quote, and this from memory, so I guess I can't quote it. I'll paraphrase. But if I remember correctly in those text messages, he said to Twig, well, I guess this proves that this basically will, will take a person out, which infers that he killed Charlie Kirk with that.
I don't.
Yeah,
believe
it'll take down a big boar, but it'll get stuck in a human neck. All right. So moving
Actually, can I
on.
just pull you up for one sec there? That actual quote actually implies that he'd never fired that rifle before, because what he actually says was, I guess Grandpa's rifle goes okay. So does that sound like he's fired?
No,
it
that's
before?
not the full context of what happened there. I'll pull them up real quick.
Okay,
Let's pull up the text messages between Twig and Robinson here.
Yeah, take your time.
Hang on. Are you gonna pull up
Leslie,
are you pulling up the first ones or the new ones that they changed?
take your time, Andrew. Let Muppet just let him pull up whatever he's gonna pull up. If you need to pull up anything, Muppet, I know you know the case pretty well. You can, but I want to just keep it moving a little bit. Rabbi, I see your hand up, and Critico. Ryan, my understanding is you're here to push more Fed slop, but I did give you a mic. I might get to you at some point. But thanks for being patient anyway. Sean, if you're here to push Fed slop, then I don't know, but
No Fed
Les.
slop. Just trying to find clarification, brother.
Oh, okay, good. I like it. Leslie, go ahead.
So I have two questions. Andrew, what makes you think that you're more qualified in ballistics than Corby is?
Andrew didn't make that claim. While he's just keep in mind, Leslie, before you start going in on Andrew, he is
I'm not.
looking.
I'm
He is.
asking you a question
I
very
get it. I get it. He
civilly.
is looking something up. So,
Okay.
if you do have other questions for people on the panel, or if you just want to, I know he can multitask. If you want to say, if you have more than one question, if you just kind of want to say what you think overall, if you have a theory or if you have evidence of anything, that's kind of the stuff that he's looking for. But I do want to give him some time to do
Oh, yeah,
some
that's fine. I
homework.
can wait.
What's up with your buddy Ryan, Andrew? He got scared and ran. Tell him to come back.
You may not know how to hop on X.
No, he was in here for a while.
Yeah,
and he
maybe,
just-
but-
oh no, wait, he's requesting again.
And
All
I
right.
saw him come up.
Andrew,
In
do you
this,
reckon you can
hang on,
get me
bro.
on Piers Morgan?
Give me a second, bro.
Ryan, before we continue, Ryan, I know you've been really patient. You're one of the Fed sloppers. I'll respond to you, Ryan. What do you want to say?
I think okay, great. I'm very glad to be here, but I'm actually not here to push Fed slop. You got me all wrong. I think that after watching the trial, I wanted to see if anybody could contest this alternative theory that I think is really plausible. So to me, when you're looking at motivation, I think we all know the way that you tell who has motivation, 9 times out of 10, you follow the money.
100%.
And I was thinking about it, and I was saying, who made a lot of money since the death of Charlie Kirk? And I did some sleuthing. And I looked at Candace's numbers, and her subscribers are through the roof since Charlie Kirk died. And we heard earlier there was a theory that I think was interesting. It couldn't be disproven. There was a theory that a state might have done it. Now that's true. A state might have done it. It's logically possible. But what's the motivation for a state? It's not so clear to me. But Candace made a lot of money. So I think the real theory is Candace set this all up. That's the thing.
Well,
I mean,
Candace
if
did
you
make
really
money
think
from
about
it.
it,
Ryan, I'll
Candace
address it. I'll
said
address it. I'll
Candace set it
address
up.
it.
And I
think
think that I
Ryan,
have
I
at least as much
appreciate
evidence
the
for that theory.
satire. I'm
Well,
the
I mean,
satire
No, it's
king
not
here.
satire, bro.
And I'm the satire king here. I appreciate it. It was a nice try. I'll give you a C. But Andrew, is this the best you could find?
Well,
This
hang on.
is your
Well,
attorney.
first,
Is your attorney.
first and
Are you
foremost,
serious?
we are under the
You're-
agreement that you're not muting me in this space, correct?
I didn't mute you.
Okay, well,
I'm sorry, Dan. That was me. I didn't realize I was muting
Muppet,
everybody.
just
Yeah,
so you
yeah, but
know.
you don't know, Andrew. You don't really know how spaces work. Sometimes you have to mute. This guy was going on with this
I want,
joke,
hang
and
on,
it
hang
wasn't
on. I want the
landing.
agreement. I want the agreement that we always have that you're not going to mute me in this space.
I won't mute you, but I have to mute other people.
I understand
sometimes.
that. I'm not saying that you. I don't give a shit about other
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
I'm
Okay,
just
go
talking
ahead.
about
What
me.
were you gonna say? No, I'm not gonna mute you. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, so I pulled up the chat here, right? Remember how I was engraving bullets? The messages are mostly big meme. I see if he notices bulge UD or UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke. Robinson says, all right, I'm going to leave it. That really sucks, in reference to his rifle. It sure sounds like he used that rifle. So just pointing that out. I wanted to pull up the messages that I saw myself.
What about the other quote though that he said?
Which other
about
quote?
Grandpa's rifle. It seems to go okay.
Yeah. Hang on, I can pull that one up too. But remember, I was going off of just memory, but now I actually have them in front of me. 1 second. I thought they caught the person. They grabs why did you blah blah blah. I've had enough of his hatred. Bit over a week. I've been planning it. Okay, here it is. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I had to leave it in a bush. Boom.
The one before the scope, where he mentions the scope, had a 2K scope. I think it's right before that.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to have to leave it. That really sucks. That's the one that's right before that.
Okay. I might have changed it. In the original one, it says...
No, I think the one that I'm talking about is the one that they introduced in court. I'll see if I can find the exact quote. But, I mean, I think we're both on the same page that he did reference, and again, this is just from memory, but that he did reference indeed that, basically, well, that puts it to rest that this won't do the job, right? So hang on, let me see.
I took it the other way, that he hadn't fired it before. Something like after.
Oh, here it is.
I think.
Hang on, I got it. Robinson. All right, I'm gonna just leave it. That's really sucks. And then he says, judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's does just fine. I don't know. I think that was a 2K scope.
So does that not imply that he hasn't fired it before?
I don't think it implies that he hasn't fired it. No, I think that he was, because they were talking about a hunting trip, and his grandpa saying he said in the text messages that he basically had to have that rifle, or his grandpa wanted him to use a different rifle or something. I didn't bring, blah, 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 blah. Let me see if I can find it.
It's just a detail, just semantics, I guess. You could take it either way. Yeah.
Yeah, in the context, I think I don't see how that means he didn't shoot it, no.
That girl, I'm just gonna do rapid fire. I don't know what Andrew's doing right now, but I'm gonna do rapid fire real quick. Go ahead, that girl.
Hey, thanks for bringing me on. Hope everybody's having a good night. Is Andrew on here?
Yeah.
Hi, Andrew.
Hello.
Always a pleasure talking. Hello.
You too. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing tonight?
Yes, living the dream.
Okay, that's good. Good. Listen, I just have a question. Because, my position is always a little different than everybody else's. You guys might come back and, hey, Tyler Robinson's guilty. I just think there's more to it than meets the eye, which is why. So do you think that it was normal that during the last few moments of Charlie Kirk's life, when the security team should have been calling 911.
Oh yeah, I
maybe calling the
remember. Haven't
hospital.
we discussed this before?
Well, hold on, I'm not done yet. I'm
All
not
right.
done yet. Ben Shapiro came out and listen, I didn't tell him to say it. I didn't tell him to say it. He came out and said that his security team was receiving updates from Charlie's security team while Charlie was in the back of the unequipped SUV after they tossed him in there like a side of beef. So do you think that's normal? You know what I mean? Like, do you think that's something that's okay, that shows that these people were really concerned about keeping Charlie alive?
Just
That's
to
what I want.
clarify real quick, didn't Tim Pool say that too?
Even worse. So they just were on the phone with everybody. Not the
Casey,
hospital.
remember that Victor's receiving information on the fly too.
Right. Yeah. So there's just it's conversations with everybody except for the hospital. They didn't call 911. I mean, I didn't ask these people to say. I don't know why Tim Pool came when he added that in. It made it even worse for me. I was like, oh, so they just were talking to everybody, but who they should have been talking to. Is this something that shows a group of people who were trying to save Charlie Kirk's life?
Well, I don't think that that's evidence they weren't trying to save his life. No.
How do you save somebody's life while talking to Ben Shapiro's security
So there's
team?
well, let's start with a
you know what I
couple.
mean? Like,
Yeah, let's get a couple things clarified so that we can see if we can separate fact from fiction. Because I've heard you make this claim many times. You say the security team, nobody on it ever called 911. Is that correct?
yes, there's many calls to 911. People went through the calls, and not a single person from the security team called 911. Worse yet, Blake Neff even told me he didn't even call 911, but I wasn't really asking about him. But
But
he told me that he didn't
911
think it was
911
important to call
had been called.
by a bunch of people in the audience.
Okay.
Children, people who were scared. Yes,
Gotcha. All right.
I would have
So
called too.
so my understanding from what Shapiro's saying, and I'm no defender of Shapiro, was just that these guys were all worried potentially about their safety, and their security teams all know each other, so they were sharing communication. That's my understanding of it.
Right. Which I have no problem with, except for the fact when Shapiro added, while Charlie was in the back of the truck or the car. You can, of course, debriefing with other security teams.
Well, he
absolutely,
may
I
he
expect
may
that.
he may have gotten that detail wrong too, you know.
He's a very literal man, and I think that he said it. To be honest, I think he said it on purpose because I feel like that might be something that comes up later. But that is a KC speculation without any kind of evidence to prove that. But
Well, we don't
it
even
makes it
actually
even
have any
worse to say-
evidence. We don't actually even have any evidence that these calls took place at all.
Why would Shapiro lie like that and insert
I
himself?
I have no clue if he's lying, if he's not lying, this or that. We don't have enough information on it. We would just be
But my question
speculating.
is, right, but it is and I'll just end it here, but it is like pointless for him to say it if it wasn't true. Like, it actually makes the whole situation look worse. So therefore, again, these people, they couldn't have been focused on saving Charlie's life.
Well, that's where
If
you
they had
move.
time to
That's where you're
call.
moving into speculation, though. It's like them sharing information from the security team. Therefore, that means that they weren't interested in saving Charlie Kirk's life. That's where you move from an oddity into something which is speculatory and requires actual good evidence to prove.
Well, the actual good evidence and the requirement would be totally focused on Charlie Kirk. And again, using your phone to call the hospital, especially you have it. Now, this isn't like I'm in the back of the car, right? Father God, please never treat me like this. If something like this happens to me, people, this is not the standards. This is not acceptable. Don't accept this kind of business for your family either. But anyway, this is Charlie Kirk. So you would think they would even call the hospital to let them know we're bringing in this celebrity, somebody of high status to your hospital. But instead, and he said while Charlie was in the car, they were talking to his security team. That is not normal. And again, it shows a level of not just distraction, but just carelessness, like, I don't know how you're trying to save a life and you're thinking of other people. And then Tim Pool said, well, they called mine too. So they were chit-chatting with everybody instead of focusing on making the proper calls to the proper authorities to get,
Well, I
to get
use
Charlie some real help,
I
but-
use security myself, but I don't think that I use anybody who any of these people use. I use like private people who I know. But I don't know exactly how they share information or how interconnected they are. I don't have all the details on that yet. Nobody does.
All right,
Yeah.
Casey, I
Hey,
gotta move
You
on.
gave
I
it-
gotta move
Andrew.
on,
I know you did.
Casey.
I know, but I just
Hey,
didn't.
Sh-
All right, let me have the last word. I just want to say
no,
good
no,
night
no,
to
no,
Andrew.
Casey. No,
Can
no
I just
last
say
word.
good
It's
night?
always last word with you. It's Casey.
Can
I'm
I just
sorry.
say good night? Can I just thank you for letting me come up? Thank you, Andrew. Always a pleasure. And I'll be around again. You know, I'm not
Okay.
going too far. I'm in the middle.
Say good night
Well,
to
and
Rachel too.
we can talk again in the future, Casey. I got no problems with you, as you know.
For sure. No, I don't have any problems with you either. I look forward to talking to you in the future.
And
right.
All right, bye.
people can go sub to her channel too. She is a creator. She has a YouTube channel. Sub to that.
Thank you.
Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just gonna give it from an executive protection aspect. Being an executive protection, a lot of our agencies are very, very close. Now, whether you're guarding a diplomat or guarding just a high value person, you are going to be in contact with your home base. You're going to be in contact through radio, through everyone else on the team. So updates are going to be pushed through the radio, which in turn could be guys on the ground because their radios are going to last 2 to 4 miles. So those guys, even though they're in the car speeding away, they can be giving an update on that headset to the guys on the ground, which are then communicating with the rest of the teams. Because when you're in that atmosphere, similar or same companies, they're calling like Tim Pool, they're calling Ben Shapiro, they're saying, hey, there's a threat out. Charlie Kirk just got. That's where this is coming from. I believe that's what the aspect would come out to be. I don't think that guys are sitting there with one hand on his neck and then, their hand on his cell phone. Hey, what's up, Ben? Just want to let you know Charlie's about to die. No, that's stupid. That's just nonsense. The way that you got to look at executive protection is you have to warn all your assets, especially if they're in the same realm, if that makes sense. Um, Really quick, I wanted to ask one question about you said there was another bullet. They said there was another rifle round found on an adjacent rooftop above where Tyler Robinson was, correct? That was found after later on. Now that I believe was it says a rifle round, which means a full round, not a spent round, not a
Correct.
bullet, not a casing. So therefore, it was ejected probably when one of the cops got his rifle, went to the highest point, which is where you want to be to get an overwatch. He will then rifle around or he'll rack around to make sure that he has a round in the chamber. Now, if he already had a round in there, cool, he ejected one. I think that's where that round on the other rooftop came because it doesn't say that it was a
That's
spent
what they
shot.
say it. That's what they say it came from. They say it
Oh,
came from
okay.
a cycled officer's. That's one, and then secondarily, if this is a professional who's capable of switching out uppers in order to, and then leave behind breadcrumbs or something, why would he leave the round behind? He's
Right.
professional enough to have a rifle, which he can then switch between a 30 cal 300 blackout over to a 5.56. Why would he leave the round? That makes no sense.
And so
Some pro he is.
the last thing I was going to call into was the description of the clothing he was wearing. Now, anybody within the security field, military, tracking, any of that, or police, the number one thing you're going to look at, especially when you have a suspect running away or you got to give a description, you always want to get the shoes. Now, people might think it's weird, but that's how we track insurgents over in the Middle East. It's weird. You might think it's crazy, but anyone else that's been in the Middle East knows this. You see the shoes and you're going to notice them. All right. The way that they tracked him were the shoes and the pants he was wearing. He didn't change those. That is one of the hardest items to change when someone is trying to change an outfit or their appearance. Now they found the shirt, they found residue on him and on his clothes that they confiscated. So this is where I'm looking at Tyler Robinson. But again, I can't draw a definite conclusion. This whole thing is nuts. But
Yeah, I'd
to,
agree. Thanks, Sean.
yep,
I appreciate
I
it. I
appreciate it. Thanks,
mean,
man.
yeah, no
Yep.
problem, no problem. I mean, most of us know that this is mostly just nonsense because in most cases, really, yeah, especially a case like this, you would have a cell tower data. You'd pull the reports from the cell towers. There would be none of this guesswork. So Andrew knows this,
What
but
guesswork?
about people's whereabouts and where they were and what time they were and like the text messages and the
It
metadata
doesn't
from the
seem like
text.
they're doing much in the way of guessing. Seems like they have a pretty firm established timeline that they submitted in these hearings. What do you mean?
They actually
Hang on.
don't have.
That last
So-
guy just made a whole heap of guesses. Like, where's the residue on Tyler's clothes? Can you show me where they have that?
Well, first of all, even with this argument, the reason this one's bad is even if that's not first, there's no determination that they didn't do such a test just because he didn't submit it in the hearing. That's one.
No, 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 they don't have it. So
How do you
he just
know?
said
How
that.
do you know?
Well, he just used that as a point to say, "Oh, it was definitely Tyler." They found residue on his clothes. That didn't happen. Okay, I'm just making that point.
I don't recall him saying that.
He just said it 30 seconds
Yeah,
ago.
Am I
he did
crazy?
say it.
He said that they found
He said
residue on his clothes. Who said that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I listen to people, man. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
maybe I'm mistaken, but I actually didn't hear him say that they found residue on the
Can
clothes.
you?
He said that he
Maybe I
changed.
misheard it.
I thought he said that
Can
he
you repeat
changed the
what you said?
clothes. I thought, yeah, he was saying that the two articles of clothing
He said
hardest to
he-
change are the
yeah,
shoes and the pants, and that's what they utilized to track him.
yeah. And how? What?
What do you mean?
What
How?
is
No,
to?
it's okay. I'll be honest. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because if you want to track somebody, you just look at the cell phone towers or so that to me is just kind of silly. We're looking
Yeah,
at
and that
shoes.
wasn't the point. I was just clearing up the point. There's
Okay.
no
I know.
residue
I
found on
know.
his clothes.
Okay, that's fair. Maybe I just missed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
So
I
but
think you missed it.
isn't like the only evidence that Andrew has? He's saying that basically Tyler admitted to it, and then but you guys are like, okay, we could just be using all this metadata to figure out where everyone is. But what that Twigs kid, the he's just in court said, oh, I went to bed at 7 a.m. Then I woke up at 1. Like, where was he that whole time? Like, how do we know I mean, he was close with Tyler. I'm just saying, how do you know he didn't send any messages from Tyler's phone? But even besides that, the question I wanted to ask you, Andrew, is
Well, because they
um
pulled all the information off of Tyler's phone. I assume that the state would have submitted that if there was additional evidence that they thought was pertinent to the case.
yeah, I'm not sure about that, so I'm not gonna pretend to be, but I do know
Well, they
that like
did. They sent they had a private company pull all of the data off the phone. I think it was what Celebrite. They had them pull all the data off of the phone, so they didn't just have the pictures that they took of the messages, but they actually pulled the raw data as well. And then in the hearing, they also said that they did ask Discord for the messages.
well, what I was gonna ask you besides that is what do you think? So with everything you've seen, you think it's kind of open and shut? There's really like no need for, even though there's gonna be, of course, like actual court hearings and stuff like that. But like
Mhm.
from what you've seen, you think it's just open and shut, really no further investigation needed, or what?
No, I don't think so. I'm even willing to entertain the idea of a conspiracy. It's just that what's bizarre to me is that the evidence for conspiracy that I would be looking at, I'd be looking at things like who are these Discord groups? Who are the people involved in the Discord groups? Do they have leftist ties? Things like this, as radical leftists have been known to kill conservatives. And they do it often. I don't know. They're like
Yeah, so
attracted to
you
us.
would use conclusion basically to
And I'm not
try
using
to solve that.
I'm not
That is
using
using a
any it's not
conclusion.
using a conclusion. It's me that would be investigating still, saying, "Okay, who are these people who were in communication with Robinson?" There could be some collusion there. There could be at least a strong that seems like that's a stronger case to make for conspiracy than like kill them or a state actor or something like this where there's no evidence.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even like anti Tyler Robinson did it or was involved. To what degree, I don't really know. But like, okay, with like the George Zen thing, like the dude is like a professional patsy. He is like objectively connected. I don't know if that's the right word, but like the Boston Marathon, right after that, he called in a. It was actually somewhere in Utah to another
Yeah,
dollar
this guy
company.
was he was a nutcase who was known to create spectacles at various events. He's
But he was
known to
on the
do this.
ground at 9/11 too, though. Like literally
Yeah,
there. I
he's
mean, it's
known. Listen, it is known that this guy is a nutcase who has gone and disturbed events many, many, many times. He's well known to police. He's well known to law enforcement.
but doesn't it seem a little more than like just random coincidence, or you saying that's a stretch?
I'm saying there's no evidence that this guy was in any way, shape, or form involved in actually Kirk.
No, of course he didn't Kirk. That's what I'm saying.
Or
I'm just
involved in
saying.
a conspiracy to Kirk either. There's no
You do
evidence
think it
for it.
was? You think he's just totally independent? Well, the evidence is Charlie Kirk got shot in the throat, and the dude stands up and says, "I shot him." Me.
Yeah, he's a lunatic. Like that's an
Dude, that's a
aberration.
convenient,
Listen,
dude. That's so disingenuous.
I
to
agree
say
with
something
you
like
that that's an aberration, but can you explain the aberration is the question, and it seems like we can. This guy is a
That could have
known
possibly been
he's
a
a known
fucking
nutcase.
military grade.
Well, that
Out
see
the
see what I
patsy.
mean? Like that's once
You're
you
not willing to
guys
entertain that?
once you guys move on to that, I'm willing to entertain anything. If anybody ever has any evidence for their claims, I'd
Well,
be
we're
willing to
sitting here
entertain
telling you
them.
this guy. Hold on. What? I'm sitting here telling you, you agree. You know that he's calling in threats. He's on the ground at 9/11, and now he stands up and says, "Hey, I work." Gives the time for whoever work to get the away. And not to mention, just so you know, these rifles come in a couple different sizes. It's anywhere from 44 inches to 50 inches. That's 4 feet long. I've seen no video with this dude running away with a 4-foot. Dude, this shit is crazy. And then where'd the box come from? I mean,
No,
even a towel's barely
so
gonna conceal that.
can we back up first? Where's the evidence of foreign conspiracy?
When did I say foreign conspiracy? I said there's a
Okay.
dude that we objectively
No,
know
no, that's not what you
stood up.
said. You said, or it could be a huge military operation. That's your
I'm just
exact
saying
words.
because of the patsy. I'm saying George Zinn makes me very curious. Is
I
that not reasonable?
understand that that could make a person curious and they'd want to look for an explanation for the aberration. But the question is like, what link it to something? What are we linking it to?
I'm
What?
linking him to be a professional patsy because he was on the ground at 9/11, and then right
But
after the
he's not the
Boston bombing.
patsy, right? You're in your view, it would be Robinson who's the patsy, yeah?
I don't know. I already told you. I don't know why you're putting words in my mouth. I told you. I said, look, I could get behind Tyler Robinson, and of course he's
No,
involved to some
Robinson would
degree.
have to be the patsy. He's the guy getting prosecuted. The other guy would be what, like a decoy, a distraction
No,
or
that would
something,
be
right?
no. That's if he got away. He didn't get away. Obviously, he's arrested in jail, so that would make George Zinn the patsy. It was just unsuccessful.
No, that would make him a decoy.
That would make him a decoy.
Okay, my bad. Whatever.
Yeah, he would be the decoy, and then Robinson in this scenario would be the patsy.
Well, either or, dude. I'm just saying it's strange the guy's there.
Yeah, I get
And
it.
it's
I
like,
understand that there's an aberration there and that you want to link the aberration into something, and I'm willing to hear the evidence for linking this aberration to something.
no, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say this is weird, dude. And then am I supposed to believe? I'm supposed to believe that he's just crazy and he just pops up as this like because the only other
He
alternative
has a
is
long
it,
track record of doing it. Long track record of doing it.
which is very curious.
It's curious that a leftist lunatic has a long track record of acting like a
What
lunatic.
makes him leftist?
I think that
Did you
that's
see him?
what
He looked like a
think
mechanic.
I think that that's what the stated political affiliation for the guy is, or at least that's what he's known as.